So when we look at Storm on the Island then, so we're looking at it through the lens of power of nature, and I will annotate this in quite a lot of detail, but again, if there are certain things that you can't remember, or if there are certain things that you miss in my recording, you will need to do the research yourselves, okay? So you'll need a pen at the ready, or you'll need to be ready to make some notes, because I'm going to just talk through some of these contextual points. So Seamus Heaney then, as you can see, was alive in 1939. A lot of his poems were written and sort of put out there in the 1960s. Now, during the 1960s and all the way up until the late 1990s, there was a period in Northern Irish history called the Troubles, this third point here. And basically, there was a lot of infighting or conflict between different groups of people that lived in Northern Ireland. And these tensions are still there today. So remember what I said earlier about how many conflicts are never truly resolved. This is one example. So in Northern Ireland then, there has always been like a battle of space, if you will. So even though Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, so the four countries that make up the United Kingdom, as you know, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland and England, they all used to be their own countries historically, and then they all came together to form the United Kingdom. But the Republic of Ireland, Southern Ireland, there has always been an argument for Northern Ireland being part of the Republic of Ireland. So one of the battles has always been between Great Britain and the Republic of Ireland. So a bit of trivia knowledge for you. Great Britain is just the big bit of the country. The United Kingdom is where you include Northern Ireland. Then you've also got the fighting between the Catholics and the Protestants. So the Catholics and the Protestants, as many of you know, are two different types of practicing Christians. So Catholics tend to have stricter guidelines, but that's a little bit general of me to say. But basically, a lot of Catholics disagree with certain Protestant beliefs and customs. So, for example, stances on abortion, for example, stances on having divorces. Again, you can do the research yourselves if you want to explore this further, if you're not quite sure. But these are the two precursors that led to the Troubles in Northern Ireland, where there was a lot of fighting, a lot of conflict and a lot of animosity. What Seamus Heaney, you could argue, is trying to do here, or one of the perspectives that he's trying to put forward, is how Northern Ireland, where he's living, is a battleground because of these reasons. But this isn't the only context, okay? Another way you can read this poem is it can be the fight between man and nature, which is the question we'll be answering. This idea that there are huge supernatural forces out there that us mere mortals, us mere humans, can't possibly fight against. So we can read the poem in terms of this context here that I've written down and gone through, or we can think about it as supernatural powerful forces, or the higher level responses will consider all of it together. So looking at the poem itself then, I'm going to ask you to pause this recording, and I want you to read through the poem, and I want you to write down for me a summary of what the poem is about. So what is happening in the poem, how it links to the power of nature. So now you have your summaries, or if you've looked up online or looked at any revision notes from before, you should have a good base understanding, because I'm going to jump straight into analysing the poem as a whole. Now, this poem is written in blank verse, okay? Now, blank verse is a type of poem where